Hi, I'm Ben Dakin, and today I'm going to be cooking one of my favourites, meatballs. Not just any meatballs, sausage meatballs. And of course, with pasta. These are going to be called sausage meatballs because they use pork and sage and onion. So we've got some fresh sage there and we've got some onion. Really easy to make. All you need, 500 grams of pork mince, and to this we're going to add one small onion, red onion chopped. Use a red onion and the flavour tends to be a little bit milder. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped sage. That's going to give a great flavour boost. 75 grams of breadcrumbs. Now the thing about breadcrumbs is they can be made from any bread you've got. So if you've got bread that's a bit stale, only good for toasting, gone past that, stick it in a food processor, whiz it down breadcrumbs. You need to store them in the freezer. Right, mix all that in with your hands, nice and dirty. After that, 1 egg beaten, and that's going to bind it all together and make it set really nicely when they're cooked. And then that goes into the fridge for 10 minutes to firm up, and then we'll make the meatballs. After your meat's been in the fridge, your meatball mixture's been in the fridge for 10 minutes, firm it up a little bit, then we're going to make the meatballs. So what we're doing is just dividing the meat into small bits, small sections, roll it round. There you go. Right, now these have to be browned off in the pan. So you get yourself a non-stick fry pan. Now get it nice and hot. And then, here's a chef's tip, always start at 12 o'clock and work your way round. Then you know which one you've put in first. Give them a couple of minutes on each side and just turn them over. And we want to brown them all the way around. It's going to take about 10 minutes, but don't worry about cooking them all the way through because that's the next step. So after you've turned your meatballs several times to get a bit of colour on all sides, you've got to be quite careful with them because they can be quite delicate and they can break apart a little bit. Don't worry if 1 or 2 of them do, it just adds to the texture and the richness of your meatballs and spaghetti. Now, you've browned them off, time to add the sauce. I'm using a Dolmio original sauce of bolognese, and we're just going to tip that in. Turn it down, and just very gently stir your sauce in. Minding not to break up the meatballs. And now we've got to cover that and cook 15 minutes to make the meatballs cook through. So you've got your meat, you put your meatballs on, 15 minutes later they're cooked. Meanwhile, cook 400 grams of your favourite pasta. Obviously it's meatballs, spaghetti is your obvious choice. After that's cooked, drain your pasta. Now you want to put the pasta in the pan. Put the pan on a gentle heat, and we're going to put a little bit of the sauce from your meatballs. Careful not to use the meatballs. Spread a bit of that sauce in there. And don't worry if your meatballs have started to break up a little bit. It just means you get more little meatballs. Spoon that in and give that a good mix round. Cut your spaghetti, loosen up. And so take a little of the sauce and stir it through the pasta. And that's just going to separate the spaghetti and stop it all clumping together. Turn that off. Right, and now, time to plate up. Now this serves 4 people, so be generous with your meatballs. Some of the pasta. Pasta in the bowl. You want your meatballs. Making sure you've got some of that delicious Dolmio bolognese sauce.